Hey everybody, welcome to another World of Tanks replay, and here we have a match in the IS-3. This is some good aggressive IS-3 play, the way that God intended. On Westfield, the East spawn started up on the hill, which makes me happy. No need to climb up it. I don't think heavy tanks can actually spawn in the valley anymore. I'm pretty sure only mediums and lights can, as well as artillery. But in any case, I've got a really good spawn for the initial position I'd like to take, which is just by the rightmost house there. And already somebody on the enemy team is bitching about their supposed 12% chance to win. Now, I'll let you in on a little secret. If you really want to lose a match, the best way to do it is to start whining in all chat about how likely you are to lose, how low your win chance is, or how terrible your teammates are. Because you've basically just defeated your team before you even started the game, and they're all demoralized and expecting a loss, so they're not going to try particularly hard to actually win. Now, instead of riding up on the hillside like I normally would in tanks with a bit more gun depression, I stick to the low ground in the IS-3. Immediately we've got a Wheezy 111 on the right side, but he's not really a threat at the moment. He's focusing on the tanks up in B3, and so myself and the T-34 are able to fight the stuff here in town without interference from him. Now the enemy have actually formed something of a concave gun line running from B1 all the way down to the town here, and so our guys up in B3 are going to be in a lot of hurt unless we can hurry up and break through the town. The reason concave gun lines are so dangerous, as opposed to just a straight line of tanks or even a convex gun line, is that you're able to get shot from, 2 or 3 sides instead of one. It's a pretty basic concept, but it's one that I suppose a lot of people don't really think of when they look at the arrangement of tanks on the minimap. And it's also an important thing to note when you are organising a defence for clan wars or something, if you can arrange your tanks in such a manner that you've got a concave gun line going. Not necessarily a strict line, but just a position where all of your tanks are sort of surrounding the enemy on 2 or 3 sides, and then you're going to have a much easier time of working them over. Speaking of working people over, this T-34 is losing a lot of hit points very quickly, and looks like he doesn't want to engage anymore. He gets finished off by the ISU. The Wheezy is still tied up with the tanks up north, and in fact if you look at the minimap up north, our team have actually broken through. They've lost a lot of hit points to do it, most of them are at 50% health or less, but they've actually managed to defeat the enemy tanks up there and break through, while myself and the other tanks in town are still engaged down here. The reason for this, other than the fact we had a better team across the board, is again, the enemy team just didn't have a heart in the fight, because probably a lot of them did look at that XVM win chance and decided that 12% isn't good enough and they're not going to even try. A lot of pubbies have trouble with statistics. They assume that a 70% chance to win is a guaranteed win, and they get really offended if you don't give them a win. And conversely, they think that a game where you've got 20 or 30% chance to win is literally impossible and you won't get it. It's obviously incorrect, but it just seems to be a prevailing mindset of a lot of pubby players that if the chance to win isn't near or isn't over 50%, I should say, then they've lost automatically. It's really self-defeating. This IS-3 only has the D25T, so I'm not too worried about getting up close and personal. Unfortunately, my first shot on him bounced, must have hit the angled side plate, and my second shot isn't loaded in time to finish him, so I send it to the Type 59's face instead. It's the last of the tanks in town. The enemy Jumbo is off in the east side, being completely useless, so all that's left for me to do is try and find the enemy arty. And you'll notice the incredible luck I'm getting with my snapshots in this match. So much for shot dispersion being nerfed. Now, what actually happened when Wargaming did their last readjustment to gun accuracy, they reduced the chance of every shot hitting the center of the circle, so the shots are more evenly spread around the center rather than on it. But what they also happened to do was tighten the dispersion a bit, so now snapshotting is actually a bit more sensible than it used to be. Although it's not going to be as accurate, and although you're not as likely to hit the center of the circle, you are much more likely to land a shot somewhere within the circle when you take a snapshot. And so, you know, as long as it's not a situation where it will actually cost you to fire the shot, you may as well. But I still maintain my original attitude, which is, if you're in an important engagement, you need to actually make your shots count. You can't just go whiffing shots all over the place trying for a snapshot. There's no point. It also obviously depends on range. If you're up close to your target, you can often get away with it, because even if the shot goes to the edge of the circle, it will still hit. But if you're fighting somebody at a distance, you've got to really wait for that aim. Snapshotting just isn't worth it unless it's, you know, you're not going to get a shot off if you aim, basically. So if it's that sort of last desperate shot before you get taken out, or if it's an enemy tank that's distracted by somebody else and you're free to engage it and take as long as you want, or, you know, not so much take as long as you want, but you're free to engage it, fire at it, miss, and engage something else. Quite often, if I am going to snapshot something, it's because I'm in the midst of switching targets and I see a target of opportunity come up and I think, right, I'll send one at you. And if it doesn't hit, I don't care, my teammates will finish you off, I'll deal with your teammates. That's usually the situation you'll find me firing snapshots in. Anyway, thanks for watching. The IS-3, since the HD model was added, feels a little bit stronger than it used to. I think it's mostly because of the way the armor's been reprofiled. The turret's lost a bit of armor, but the overall shape of the hull has improved a little. You've got a slightly bigger lower plate, but I think the actual upper hull is a bit better. In any case, it might just be confirmation bias, but it does feel a bit more solid than it used to, and it looks really nice, which is the main thing. As ever, I wish you the best of luck in the field, and I'll see you in the next video.